Another episode of With the Chiefs.
Wait. Man, I need more rest.
I hope I've got your last name right there.
It's a very good pronunciation.
You should know better than that now, Donald.
I know.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of With the Chiefs. Today we're going to be doing a bit of a recap. So we're going to recap the recent Bondi to Manly event. So I'll just try and give a bit of a background as to what the event was. So this was an 80K race starting at the Bondi Pavilion. So it follows the walking track around Sydney Harbour all the way down to Manly. A total of 80 kilometers. So there was two races. There was a solo race and there was a relay. So today we're going to be interviewing two gentlemen that both did the solo race. So we've got our very own Dominic Bullock, who ran 6 hours, 20 minutes and 58 seconds. I hope that's correct for a second place.
Take your word for it.
Is it? Don't take my word for it, Dom. We know how this goes. We're also very lucky to be joined by second time on the show, Chris Gatt, Delta runner and friend of ours. Chris ran 8 hours, 5 minutes and 11 seconds. Chris, is that right?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yep,
And that's your first ultra as well. Is that right?
Yeah. First time
Yes.
over, basically a marathon.
Yeah, so we're going to dig into the race, have a bit of a chat, and go from there. So, gentlemen, welcome to the show. How's it going?
Yeah, good, mate. Thank you.
Good to have you on the show, Dom.
Oh, it's good to be here.
How about we start with a bit of obviously not much of a training recap's happening given the race was not long ago. So, start with you, Chris. How have you sort of pulled up after the race? How's your week been so far?
So basically no running at all. Sunday I had to work and I couldn't move at all. Was kind of just hobbling around. Monday was a bit better than I thought. Legs were still pretty shot. Kind of didn't get my appetite back until like Monday night. Today, what's today? Tuesday. Today, legs are definitely better. Still struggling to kind of get low to the ground, but otherwise moving a bit better and back to eating normally again, which is good.
Yeah, nice.
Do you have much like just general sort of fatigue and tiredness other than being sore?
I found like my sleeping was pretty rough. Like it's just been really hard to kind of go to sleep and just waking up feeling pretty groggy overall, to be honest. But yeah, I've kind of felt that a couple of times, I guess, after marathons and stuff like that. So pretty similar, I think. What about you?
Yeah. I feel like similar. Like today, the soreness definitely feels a lot better. But I just felt really like just fatigued, and I didn't even realize like how like low energy I was. Tried to go surfing yesterday and couldn't even get out. Like I got rolled by like 3 sets and was still paddling for about 10 minutes, and it's just like, what am I doing? Like this is not working.
That's impressive.
Then today was a little bit better though. But yeah, still just not much energy. I think
Did you just assume that if you're paddling it would be different, like just because you're not using your legs?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that a little bit. I thought like surely I'd be able to get out there at least, but
just use the arm.
Yeah. But geez, like it took like, I don't know, 10 strokes and was exhausted.
Yeah, right, okay. Not much of a training update, I guess.
Training to be had.
No, that's all good. Should I just do a brief
you can do your
training update? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Geez, we've been really pushing out these episodes. I think there's not much to like to go through other than the race. But obviously I was crewing, which we'll get into a little bit later. But from a training perspective, I had physio yesterday, which was Monday. So I think it'll be the last session with the physio for a while, which is fantastic. He did like just some tests on my hamstring, like pretty much loaded it up completely to make sure that see if there's any like twinging or anything that resembles the issues that I was having before, and pretty much cleared to go back to a full training program, which I'm excited about. I was kind of very, I don't know, proud of myself or surprised that I took the conservative approach and did well. I don't know. I always get freaked out when something happens. So, but I was happy I saw it through for the 6 weeks and then just focused on going to the physio and making sure that I squared things away to get back to fitness. So at the moment, I'm very keen to start building again into some training. I think the way I'm going to approach it is just build back the base and do one session. But this morning we did the Delta session, which was something a little bit different, which was 10 by 600 at like VO2 max sort of effort. Certainly made me realize that I don't work much in that zone, or I haven't for some time, because it's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty full on zone. I think when you're going around, you feel, I think you feel okay like till 250, and then 300, and then it like sort of, then you just start breathing hard. And if you haven't done those reps for a while, it's kind of a bit of a shock to the system. But I found it was a good like mental, those sessions for me are like a good mental test to sort of just keep your head in it and get through it, because when it's a sharper pace, even from rep number 1 and 2, I feel like you're already fighting against yourself in a way. So you kind of just, it's not like threshold where it's not as sharp of a pain, if that makes sense. So yeah, but really good to sort of move the legs quicker and know that I can sort of start running with a bit of confidence again. So happy with where I'm at. But
did you have any pain during the session, or?
No, like I felt like a little, not really, honestly. Just like when I accelerated a bit quick, you could sort of feel it, but none of that pain when I stop and like walk. Like I can't feel it. And then also, sometimes if I used to feel it when sitting down in the car or sitting down for a long period of time, like that's sort of gone away. It was definitely pretty much the thing that marked it for me is when Paddy really like pretty much put all his force into my hamstring. And like I pushed against it. When I first went to see him, like that felt real dicey. Not that, and he wasn't putting all the force into it. It was kind of like, yeah. So that kind of marked the transition for 6 weeks. I've been given like strength work, which I'm going to focus on doing. So just hitting those. What's that, Chris?
You've been doing a little bit.
I've been doing rehab. It's called rehab technically. Yeah. It's going on Strava. I remember getting a message from Tobias being like, big strength session you've posted.
I see a little 15-minute ones pop up.
yeah. Putting them strength sessions on Strava. Keeps me accountable at least, I guess. But yeah, the strength work I've been given is just some calf raises with a like kettlebell and some squats, and then the same sort of deadlifts with the kettlebell. So just focus on doing that 2 times a week and build into it.
Have you got a specific day that you've been kind of instructed to do them on, or are you just doing them in and around sessions?
In and around sessions. So yeah, I probably wouldn't be a bad idea to like schedule it almost like I would schedule a session, if that makes sense. So I might do that. When do you guys sort of do your strength, or when you schedule it? Like, do you schedule away from your sessions, or?
I think everyone's different, to be honest. Like, I know I usually do like the afternoon after a session, but then you don't get, I guess, as good quality out of the strength session. Some people do it the night before and they find it activates some things for them for the actual session. Everyone I speak to kind of does something different that works for them. And I guess with Visualize, fitting it in around what you've got going on too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What about Dom? Have you been doing anything of late?
Yeah, not heaps, but usually I'll just do like an exercise or two when I've got the time. Like if it's after a run or something, I might throw in a couple of calf raises or I don't know, single leg deadlifts or something like that. Yeah, I think just time wise, it's a bit easier like that. It's always hard to get motivated to go to the gym and do a full session on your own.
Yeah, for sure. But I guess you've been pretty good at managing like your load or where your body feels it's in its zone without pushing too far over that.
Yeah, but I think it's definitely something that I could work on more.
Yeah. That's fair. How was your hammy during and after the race? Like, all right?
Yeah, hamstring felt fine the whole time. I think running all the hills and I did a little bit of more strength stuff in the build up to this race, and in probably like the back end of Berlin, I was going to the gym more and stuff like that. So I think all of that has really helped, and the pain's pretty much gone, which is good.
Okay, great.
Yeah, there's just other pain.
Yeah, just other pain. You just reply. There's always something that pops up. There's never. I think you have this idea. Like I think I have this false idea in my head now that if I do 2 strength sessions, like I'm invincible. But
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take that mentality because it's better than doing 0 strength sessions. So anyway, all right, let's get into maybe a bit of a preparation for the race. So, Chris, how's your prep leading into Bondi to Manly? Yeah.
It wasn't ideal, I guess. I think, well, the last kind of 5 or 6 weeks of kind of my running has really dropped off, just from a motivation and a work thing, I think. And I had almost decided not to do it probably until about a week out. And then I went to the shops and just bought heaps of food, and that kind of sold the deal for me. But yeah, my mileage really dropped. I was basically just doing marathons every couple of weeks as the long run. So yeah, I guess my expectations went out the window pretty early on, and my goal was just to finish. But yeah, preparation not ideal.
I remember getting the text from you being like, I'm doing it. I was like, okay, here we go, let's go. No, that's good. Not ideal, but yeah, we'll get into the race and how it played out. But what about you, Dom? You look like you were sort of putting a big focus on this one.
Yeah, definitely. I think after Berlin, I was kind of a little bit frustrated with how I ran the race. I think I just got ahead of myself and tried to run outside of my ability. So I wanted to make sure that for this one, I just ran strong the whole way and kind of put in everything I could, which was really good. Because it was a pretty quick turnaround. I think Berlin was 24th of September, so it was about a bit over a month. I only had maybe 2 or 3 weeks of good training because I was kind of recovering, and then finally I kind of got back into it. But I've been off work, which has been awesome. I've just been able to focus 100% on running pretty much. And there was 1 week where I just trained like a pro runner almost, and was napping every day and going for double runs and doing all the stuff that you should be doing, but you can't when you have a job. And
could you get used to it?
Yeah, I think so. But I don't know. You do need a bit more going on in life other than just running. There's definitely more to life than just going for runs. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it was good to kind of see all that hard work sort of pay off, and especially I had all the mileage from Berlin and that training block still in my legs. So I was stoked with how it all played out, and how the preparation went.
Yeah. Sorry, Chris, go on.
What did you change? Obviously the Berlin marathon block. What did you change in kind of the 3 or 4 weeks between that and Bondi to Manly?
I ran a lot more hills.
Yeah.
So I was pretty lucky. We went to Austria, up in the European Alps, And then pretty much every run you do, you're just like climbing and hiking and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
every week was like 3,000 odd meters elevation. And then we're doing like a few hikes and things like that as well. And then I came back to Australia and just tried to keep that up, keep trying to put in as many hills as possible, because in the lead up to Berlin, I don't think I ran up a single hill. So
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. And maybe be good to go into a little bit of how you both approached nutrition. I know you definitely both, given I was, crewing, champion effort for myself, but anyway.
It was.
Kidding. Yeah, how did you, Chris, how were you thinking about nutrition? Is this something you were thinking about quite a while ago? Because obviously it was a quick turnaround from when you decided you were going to do it.
Yeah, so obviously I signed up a while ago, and I, to be honest, didn't have much of an idea what to do for nutrition. I was probably just over planning, I think. Kind of worst case scenario, wasn't sure how I'd feel at any given point, and just kind of thought I would pack random things. I did a couple of training runs earlier on that, I tried out a few different things, and most of those didn't work. So I kind of ruled those out nice and early, which was good.
What was that?
I tried bagels, peanut butter, like Cliff bars, just random kind of dried, muesli bars and stuff like that. And I found I couldn't chew anything. Matt Gore actually gave me some good advice on this during the race, but I couldn't chew anything, couldn't stomach anything, and kind of just had to revert back to like gels and fluid basically on all those training runs. So
Yep.
I ruled all those out and just kind of packed a whole heap of new things on race day, which is probably one of the things not to do on race day. But yeah, and kind of went with it. A couple of things worked and most of it didn't. But yeah, I just didn't know how I would feel at any given point. So I was just kind of throwing stuff in the bags, and whatever I pick out, I'd just grab and see how it went, to be honest.
Yeah, that's not a. I mean, you're kind of going in blind if it's your first one. But I do wonder why bagel would be sort of in that, given that they're hard to chew on the best of days.
I did find that out pretty quickly once my mouth had dried, especially with the peanut butter on it. It was just like a cake in your mouth, and you just it's not good. Don't recommend.
Yeah. No, fair enough. And what was in the bag?
So
it was quite a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so I had I think I had three bags at the 19K, the 40K, and the 60K, and I think I chucked in like a apple puree baby food pouch into each one, which was probably my favorite thing all day. Sweet potato, I just baked off a sweet potato and then kind of mixed it with like honey and salt. Put it in a Ziploc bag and planned to just kind of squeeze that out. I had that at 19K, and that went down all right. But I didn't have any more after that. I had just like an assortment of kind of pretzels and things that actually orally could give me some little Ziploc bags of stuff. So I packed those, but didn't actually touch those. Gels, which I didn't really want to touch, but then I ended up severely underpacking on the gels.
I was in panic mode when when I got the voice note from Matt Gore being like, it needs gels. I'm like, well, we do not have any.
Gels. There's no gels
more.
in here.
So I started scavenging off Colin.
Yeah, I had a couple of the Morton solid bars, but same thing. Like they were just there's no moisture in those. So
what are they like compared to Cliff bars?
I find them really good for Maras. Like I usually use them as like a carb loading thing in the lead up, but not so much in a dry mouth while running, I think. What else did I have? Just like a heap of Tailwind and kind of Morton drink powders that I ended up going through most of it. I think that was pretty much it, to be honest. I had a couple of other things in my bag, but yeah, I didn't end up getting to them. Grabbed some chocolates off the stations, which were good. Yeah, that was about it, I think.
Couple shoe changes as well.
Double shoe change, which was
a couple of planned. Yeah, you brought a few shoes for the event.
Yeah, so I started off in just rebels, what I trained in, and I didn't have much else that I was kind of comfortable running that far in, on that kind of surface, I guess. Um, Changed it halfway into trail shoes, which I didn't need to, and then changed back out of those at 60k back into another pair of rebels just for the last 20k, which I should have just kept for the last half.
Yeah.
Yeah, trail shoes definitely not necessary, even when it was a little bit wet.
Hmm.
But
Maybe
yeah,
like the last 20Ks was a bit more trail,
yeah,
but it
yeah.
was still
I
like that.
mean, yeah, and you're probably going a bit slower, especially on some of the uphills, and um, yeah, I definitely didn't find I needed them for that last 20k. The third leg where it was a bit kind of traily mix, few puddles, there might have been a kilometer or so, but the rest of it was, I think, pretty runnable and yeah, not necessary.
Mhm.
Yeah, fair. What about you, Dom? What was your nutrition plan and gear plan coming into the race?
Yeah, nutrition plan. I think from the past, like I think I did in the 12 hour that I did ages ago. That was a bit different, and I tried to kind of eat solid food, and I think I guess went through a similar experience to Chris, trying out like Cliff Bars and sandwiches and all of that stuff, and just realizing you can't chew when you're doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So since then, I've pretty much just only used gels and Tailwind,
Mhm.
and tried to get in like 90 grams an hour or whatever it is. So that was the plan. I guess it's like 90 grams an hour, or like every 5Ks, I've got a buzzer on my watch. So I tried to kind of like make sure I've taken in either 250 mils of Tailwind or had a gel within that time period. So yeah, it basically worked out to be that I was drinking like a 500 ml flask of Tailwind and taking one gel every hour.
Nice. You didn't quite have the advanced strategy, or not advanced strategy, the big stuff to hand over. You kind of gave me one water bottle and you're like, just hold on to that, mate. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
No, but you obviously had everything on you, so that's all right.
Yeah, I guess I kind of went in with that plan. Like, yeah, I just need to have 500 mils every hour, and yeah, I carried all my gels on me because it's only 8 gels. It's not too heavy or anything.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I could switch my bottles over at 40Ks, and then if I needed to fill up a bottle again, I just have to do that at one of the aid stations. But I also just gave you a bottle in case, which came in handy.
Yeah.
Probably take the thinking out of the aid station too. Just very simple as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like one less thing to worry about a bit. Yeah, sometimes you can just get caught up thinking, shit, what am I going to eat almost?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, let's go into the race itself. Dom, talk us through just how your race went in general. And we'll go from there.
Yeah, it went out hot. Like I was thinking that we'd probably average 430s, 440s for the first 20Ks, but we went through in like 415s. And the idea was like after that first hilly 20Ks, we would kind of be able to run that next bit and pick it up a bit. But we were all pretty cooked by then. So it was kind of just like keep it steady and don't smash it too hard. But in saying that, we were still moving along pretty quickly. But I think that's like my strength is running on the flat stuff. So I'm kind of glad that it played out like that. And then, we got to 40K and everyone was feeling okay still. I think Sota was the first one to sort of start cramping, and he dropped off a bit. And going through that aid station, Joe McGrath like put in a bit of a mental mind game. He didn't stop, where me and Sota both stopped and changed our water bottles. So like it was a bit of a rush, like, oh shit, like we got to get going because Joe's already come and gone, and he put about, I don't know, 100 meters or so on me. But Smitty was there at that aid station and jogged it with me, and we could see Joe just like in the distance, which wasn't too bad. And then we got to like a set of stairs and I caught up to him anyway. So it worked out all right. But then it was just me and Joe for the next 20 Ks. And we both started cramping a bit around like 50 Ks. I think just going out so fast took a bit of a toll. And I guess nutrition wise, that's something that I probably didn't think about enough, was cramping and trying to maybe put some cramp fix out there or have some sort of strategy to manage that. But for the rest of the race, I just had to deal with it pretty much and was a bit restricted in like how much you can stride and things like that. But I think Joe was in the same boat really. So we got to the Spit Bridge. We're trying to get to the Spit Bridge before 10 o'clock because it goes up at 10. But unfortunately, we like realized with about 3 or 4 Ks to go that we weren't going to make it. But we got there and the bridge was up. So we had to wait like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes
You have a
for the
chat?
bridge to, had a chat and chilled out a bit. But we were chatting and stuff the whole time, really. It was a pretty good vibe. Like Joe's like such a cool guy. And yeah, same as like Sotar's like good company as well. Like the first 40 Ks flew by. Like it was, really, really fun. And same, like even just running the rest of it with Joe the whole time, it wasn't competitive at all. It was just like going for a run with your mate. But got to the Spit Bridge and crossed it. And then he put a bit of a surge on. And I think he's just a much better runner on the trails. Like I think that's his forte. So he, got away from me and I never saw him again after that.
I was going to say, it's all smiles, Dom. It could be an elaborate strategy to just be like, get him on side and then just boom!
Fluff him up a little bit. And
then you'd be like, oh, I don't even want to beat him. Such a nice guy.
Yeah, I guess like there were a few moments of like strategy, like running through the aid station was a bit of mind games. And every now and then he'd show like something like that. That was like, oh shit, like he's actually racing still and trying to win this thing. But
yeah, he was. I remember when he was saying what you guys were there, and you're like, "Yeah, we'll get through it together. Like, let's go." And this is as he's overtaking you. I was like, "Run parallel, guys! Come on!" No, it was good. It definitely seemed chill. Like normally you'd not expect, but like someone to have their head down and like just be focusing on their own race, not sort of too chatty. So that's pretty cool that you sort of were all just supporting each other through most of the race.
Yeah. And then like from the last 20 Ks, I was just on my own. And it makes such a big difference when you're on your own compared to running with someone. I feel like I was just starting to get a bit scared about other people passing me. And ended up being in a bit of a shit mood because of that. Like I was just running scared the whole way, like asking every like volunteer that I passed, like how far to the next person.
Oi, Buzz, how far?
Yeah.
I don't want water.
And everyone would tell me how far Joe McGrath was ahead of me, but I couldn't care less about him. He was gone. I wanted to know how far the next guy was behind me, but no one knew. So yeah, I was just
You
like
throw
freaking
your water
out.
bottle.
That's not good enough.
Yeah, what do you mean you don't know?
But then came to North Head and Jerome was up the top. So he kind of just ran with me through there, made sure like I didn't do anything stupid, stayed like on the course. And yeah, that was kind of nice because Jerome's been like a pretty big part of the Berlin build up, which kind of, I don't know, a lot of that fitness was attributed to this as well. So I felt like that was pretty nice. And then coming down into Bower is pretty special as well, seeing as though like growing up we were there every weekend surfing with Dad. So yeah, walking up those steps to check out the surf was like a route that I've run hundreds of times. And it was pretty cool doing that and coming into Manly.
Yeah.
And crossing the finish line was, just such a great feeling.
Did you forget about the pain at that point?
Yeah, I forgot about the pain. I even had like a little sprint finish, which was nice.
Yeah, I saw that. It was funny to see because when I saw you at 40K coming to the aid station, you were pretty you were pretty like chipper, happy,
Yeah.
still feeling good, And I was like, oh, this is good. Like, he's fantastic. How good is this? Then you come into 60, and I was like, okay, this is a different vibe.
Yeah, I feel like that those 20Ks are just turned into a different person completely.
Well, no, it wasn't, not in a bad way. It was more like you were just even at one point you said you weren't like 100% sure if these cramps were going to get the better of you. I think you were pretty concerned about that. But I don't think there wasn't any chat of like stopping or anything like that. But it was more like I could tell you were in for a pretty rough next 20Ks. But you'd been there before, and you obviously, you just had to put your head down and push through. So I didn't really run with you for that long. And also there was a point where I was running with you up the stairs, and like, I was like looking back, and then you were sort of like catching me. I was like, I need to get out of the way. Otherwise I'm just literally going to get in this guy's way.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. There was like another guy who was just out for his Saturday run. And every time going down the stairs, like I'd try and pass him. And then every time going up the stairs, he'd pass me. And we did that like 4 times or something.
Did he know you were racing?
I think so, yeah.
Was he just like, ah?
Yeah, it was pretty awkward, but no, it was good.
Speaking of awkward, there was someone literally taking a piss on the trail at that point, and I was like, what the hell?
Oh,
really?
someone racing or just
no, just some random. I was like, what the? It's ridiculous. I've never seen that.
Well, put the trail shoes on.
Yeah. It was very, very rogue behavior. Anyway, probably could have left that out, but anyway. So what was the finish line like? When I got there was heaps of people. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, the finish line was great. But it was kind of annoying going from Shelley to Manly, because there were just people like everywhere along that like 1 or 2K stretch, and all of them like didn't really seem to have any idea that the race was on. So it wasn't until you got to like the last 200 meters or so that you got into that finishing chute, and everyone was a bit more clued into what was going on. But yeah, really good vibes at the finish line, and a good setup as well with like the massage and ice baths and all of that.
Yeah, and obviously thrilled to come through in second place. Get a bit of cash money. Bit of prize money never goes astray. Yeah, that's cool. That's such a good result. We were tracking you the whole time, like, please just like catch this guy. It's great. To me, it seems pretty crazy that you were only 2 minutes apart the whole time. Or is that like not as crazy as I think in my head? Like, that's pretty close. Yeah,
it is pretty close. Like when you think about it, like if I'd stopped at like an aid station or something for 2 minutes, yeah, that's not that long at all, really.
Yeah.
You didn't run it last year, did you, Dom?
No, I didn't. But I saw it all and was like, oh, this is an awesome event. I'm going to do this for sure, yeah. Did you do it last year?
No, I didn't, but I was just interested to see how you found the support and all the volunteers on course. And I thought that was, for something so long, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job, like all the race organization. Like, it was pretty well marked. We took like one very small wrong turn.
Yeah.
We went like down a dead end street and realized, oh shit, we should have turned back there, and turned around and went back and did it again.
Yeah.
But that was about it. Yeah, other than that, like it was pretty well marked. There was signs like on every corner you need to take, and streamers like every 100 meters or so.
I thought it was very good.
Yeah. When I was at, sorry, Dom.
Oh, so it's just like it's not a very like intuitive route. Like you have to kind of think about, shit, where am I going to go now? If you did that on your own.
Yeah, I think because it's such a populated route too. There's just little trails going off everywhere. So yeah, if you don't have that, then you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just go around in circles.
They seem to, at all the aid stations, the setup was really, really good. I mean, everyone was pretty organized. They had all the fluids there. Seemed like it was pretty efficient.
Super helpful too. Like they're filling up everyone's bottles for them, and making sure you got fruit and gels and all that kind of stuff for the aid stations. It was really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Um,
Oh, Chris. Sorry, Don, were you going to say something?
how'd you find the parking quickly?
Oh, me.
Yeah, the aid stations.
Mate, parking was good. We pretty much just had to make sure I was there on time. I was kind of just stressing because I'm not the struggle to get to places on time to start off with, and also I'm not the greatest parker. My car doesn't have the beepy thing as well, but I'm used to not having the beepy thing at the moment, so that's good. You know, I always get that anxiety of like if you can barely find a spot, or if it's a tough spot to get in, or if you oh
You're
god,
getting rushed by someone trying to do it quickly.
yeah, it's like just imagine Chris, everyone coming through the aid station. I'm like trying to reverse parallel park or something.
You just crash.
Yeah.
Chris just shouting, "Where's Smitty?
Where's this idiot? I'm
Where's this
like,
guy?
"Oh."
I need all the food I'm not going to eat.
Yeah. I need my trail shoes. I need my one water bottle filled up. Bloody hell. No, parking was good. I just wanted to make sure, from my point of view, that I had all the correct addresses like marked out in advance before, and I sort of had a look at the map. Spoke to both Chris, because I was also trying to help out Colin as well, but was lucky to have Colin's partner Daria with us, and she sort of looked after everything for Colin. So it was more literally I just had to drive there, and that was about it. So yeah, Chris.
What were the timings like? Obviously, Dom was a fair way ahead of me. What were the timings like going into like that 60 kind of K aid station?
We got there pretty much.
Was that tight, or was that?
No, we got there pretty well timed.
Okay.
When we went from, I think the second aid station was 40K, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then everyone came through, and then we went to get a coffee at the 40 point, and it was like busy as, and we were sort of waiting there for like maybe 20 minutes ish, but that 20 minutes felt like an eternity because I was following on the app, and it was giving the estimated times.
Yep.
And the estimated times are very incorrect because it relies on, I assume it relies on the average pace.
Yep.
It must rely on the average pace of when you went through the last checkpoint. So I was seeing Dom like estimated to get there, and by the time I got the coffee, it was like 30 minutes until he got to the station, but it all worked out. It all worked out fine. We had plenty of time in the end. But when we got to 60, by the time Dom passed and I checked in and was running with Dom, then it got dicey because there's a 69K aid station, which we ended up hitting as well. So Dom was already but by the time I left, Dom was well past the 69, and then but we made it in time just to get to
the finish. Yeah,
well, we went to the 69. We were there that was actually a pretty cool aid station. We were there with because Keith was there, which is good to see him. And so the timing worked out well, except Dom was kind of a bit fast for us, a bit fast for me for that to happen. But you definitely didn't need anything at that point.
Nah, I had Keith there anyways. He was good to see, like a familiar face at least, and he was giving us Coke and
that's right,
brew, which was good. Yeah.
What did you take anything at that last one, or were you just like, get me out of here?
I had a sip of Coke and a sip of the trail brew, and then was on my way.
Aid station was pretty good as well. We kind of just set up in the first two, like inside the area, but no one else was set up there, and we did kind of get told off on the last one. Not told off, but like we kind of were in the way realistically. So we just moved behind the marking. It didn't really matter. Like I made sure to just like flag you guys out when you came through, but that worked out pretty smooth. I've just realized I've gone into so much detail after you just asked about the parking, but anyway,
the crewing side was interesting
and everything. But anyway, I'm going to still continue. I really enjoyed the crewing. No, it was really fun. It was good. All right, Chris, let's get into your race. How did things go for you?
Yeah, I think look, I was pretty happy overall with how it went. As I said, my training didn't really go that well, so I kind of adjusted the time goal initially when I signed up, and I think Orly and I were doing a bit of training together and had a bit of a target in mind that I think was probably around the 8 hour mark. Somewhere to potentially get her up into the top females. And I was just kind of worried whether I'd be able to hang on to that. But yeah, once my training started to kind of take a dive, I just kind of shifted it to just finishing, and I think I was aiming for around like 9, maybe 9.5 hours. I would have been pretty happy with, I think. So I'd planned out like each leg to kind of take around 2 hours for the first two, just go out very, very easy. And then I obviously knew the second two legs were going to be a bit slower with the trails and the hills and stuff. So
Can I just ask, what made you change your mind? I'm just curious. What made you change your mind to do it?
To go to do the race?
Yeah, to do the race. Yeah, because
I think it was a lot of things. Like I've been flipping back and forth a lot. Obviously since Sydney, I kind of like, no, I'm definitely not fit enough to be able to do it. Melbourne went, I guess, a little bit better, but I didn't really go any further in Melbourne than I did in Sydney. And then, yeah, I kind of flipped back and forth, and it also depended on whether I'd be able to get the Friday off work or not. Because obviously with the race starting at 5 o'clock on Saturday morning, I kind of wanted to have that Friday off just to, settle, eat, rest, put the legs up, go to bed early, all that kind of stuff, and not have the stress of a normal Friday at work. And then I'd put in for annual leave for the Friday, and then basically I ended up taking that away, just because a few things had kind of popped up that I knew I wouldn't be able to deal with. And then I was at the shop the week before on the Friday or the Saturday, and on the phone to another friend, kind of just asked, he's done a couple of ultras, and I said, if you're doing 80K next weekend, what would you be buying in the shops right now? So that's where the baby food and stuff came about. And then once I bought that, I was like, okay, I'm probably 80% now. And then there was a couple of other options for me. There was, I kind of live about halfway along the course. So I also thought if I start and feel like crap, I can just duck off home. Colin, who, ran as well, he'd messaged me during the week as well and said, look, if you want to just jump in at halfway and run the back half with him. And I was like, yeah, like I'd do that. But then if I got to the finish feeling okay, I'd be pretty annoyed with myself. And then I'd, the entry fee is a couple $100 or whatever. And I was like, I might as well just start it, see what happens. And then I ended up getting the Friday off work again. Just meant I had to work on the Sunday, which was rough. But yeah, I just kind of flipped back and forth for a couple of weeks and just decided to just start it and see what happened, to be honest. Yeah, nice. There was no real thought process there. It was just chaotic mindset, I guess.
No, it's good. It seems like things were moving in that direction for you to be able to do it. So yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's good. Anyway, sorry, that question interrupted the. No, it's all good. Yeah, just go back into what you were saying in terms of how the race was going.
So yeah, I'd obviously planned to go off a lot slower, and probably after the first couple of Ks, I'd start at, I think, maybe closer to 6-minute Ks. Everyone in the elite had gone off really quickly and disappeared up the road, and I then kind of realized that the first two legs were much more runnable, and I probably needed to make use of that. Just obviously based off my fitness, I knew that the back half was going to hurt regardless of how I ran. So yeah, ended up going a bit quicker than I'd planned. I think I was kind of averaging like 5:10, 5:15 for like that first kind of leg, and ended up catching a group of like 4 or 5 guys and girls, probably around 10K in, I think, and started running with them, which kept it fun. The first section is nice and scenic. You got the sunrise coming up and going around a lot of the places that we run reasonably regularly too. And then I think I kind of saw Colin not too far ahead, probably around 10 or 11 Ks in as well. So I kind of tried to catch up to him, I guess, just to have someone familiar to kind of run with, and had that plan to maybe we could run together for a bit. And then came into the first aid station, and I think I grabbed a couple of things off you, and then I took off pretty quickly. And the second leg is, I think, definitely the most runnable. There's a lot of flat there. So Colin and I picked up probably a little bit there. Joe Park jumped in at around 30K, kind of like Woolloomooloo Wharf, and ended up running about 30K. I think it pretty much got me to 60K. So super grateful for him just jumping in on a Saturday morning. Was feeding me jelly beans and Coke, and bought me Powerade on Balmoral Beach at one point. So he was really good. And then it kind of just turned into a Sunday long run with, well, it wasn't Sunday, but a long run with some of the group, which was good. And I think Colin ducked off into the bathroom just kind of on Macquarie Street there. There was the setup of Portaloos. So he ended up, I guess, a couple of minutes back from that. And came over the bridge. Still felt pretty good. Hills and stairs were a bit of an issue at that point already, but that was just training or lack of training. And then coming into the halfway, Matt Gore had kind of teed up the day before to jump in for that third leg, because I kind of said that was going to be the hardest one, I think, mentally. Just if you get through that, get to 60K, then I know I could have got through the last 20K. There was no real other option. But it was getting from 40 to 60 that I thought was going to be the issue. Got to halfway, changed shoes, changed socks. Orally was there, just giving me stuff out of my bags and making sure that I was eating and drinking and taking in all the things. And I kind of just wanted to hang out there for a little while, which Matt Gore had a couple of words to say, just to
don't
give me a little bit
keen on that.
Give me a little bit of a hurry along, which is good. But I definitely spent way too long in that aid station. I think that was 9 minutes I spent in that aid station, which is way too long. So changed shoes, the sock change was definitely good. And then third leg, pretty much as soon as I left that aid station, I started to feel pretty bad. I hadn't really eaten, and because I'd really underpacked the gels coming off all the marathons, I basically said I didn't want to have another Morton gel for the rest of the year. So I packed really light on the gels, which was a bad move because I couldn't get anything else down. So I was just drinking fluid. Like I'd double and triple strength the tailwind in most of my bottles, just to try and make up for that kind of calorie deficit. I think I got to maybe 45K, and then pretty much every uphill I was starting to have to hike. Matt Gore said a couple of good things. He's like, if you're gonna move with purpose, hike quickly up the hills. So at that point, Colin and he was going much better up the hills and upstairs, and I was going much better, or not much better, but a little bit better on the flats and the downhills. So we were kind of just like going back and forth a bit, not really running together, but kind of close enough that we were within reach of each other for most of that, I guess, third leg.
Matt was with you for the third leg, right?
Yeah.
Should I play the voice note he sent me?
Yeah, this is good. This is coming into 60.
Yeah, this is.
He's like,
what's that?
So he's running with you while he did the voice.
He sent me a voice note. Yeah. Hang on, let's see if it's. I couldn't understand it fully.
What we're going to do is, aid station. Shoot change, fill up water bottles, get a few gels to get you the tank, because you need gels to take dollars at the moment. I think get a couple of plates for the drink while it's all going down. Give all I said, but let's have that ready for you guys.
It's certainly not a sound technician, that's for sure. But
so he I think that was around well, probably between 50 and 55K. He's like,
Yep.
you know, what's your plan for the next aid station? And I kind of rattled off a few things, and straight away he like, I didn't even realize,
That-
and he
that
was
was
on the
good.
phone to you basically.
That helped me. That helped me get ready so you could make smooth transition.
Yeah. So yeah, I felt really bad, probably between 45 and 55. And yeah, going up through Middlehead, I've run around Middlehead a lot, and I don't know, I didn't know where I was at most of the points through there. I kind of just lost my bearings, and you feel like you're just going around in circles up there a little bit. And then Colin was a bit ahead, and he'd stopped and pulled over to the side and was getting rid of something out of his stomach. So did a quick kind of run past, I guess, to check on him and make sure he was okay. And Matt ended up stopping and just waiting with him. And I thought he was in trouble, but he got going again pretty quickly. And we did like a little loop around kind of I think it's like an artillery base out there, just on the headland. So you kind of do a quick 200 or 300 meter loop and come back. And then at that point, I'd kind of ducked into the bathroom just to wash my face. I just had a lot of salt build up and just wanted to feel kind of a bit fresh. And then Colin had already kind of gone back past at that point and was already halfway up that hill coming out of Middlehead. So he was fine after that. And then yeah, down into Balmoral was good. We saw who was down there. I think Hopper was down there on the beach. He was taking some photos, and I think Forshaw might have been there as well, and a couple of other people maybe. And yeah, Joe's like, I kind of just said that I needed something cold. So he stopped at the cafe halfway along the beach and picked up a Powerade that I think perked me up from there, because I felt much better going from 55 to 60 than I did from the first 15K of that leg. And then yeah, Matt Gore dropped back after Colin had kind of felt a lot better, and Matt Gore dropped back and was running with me again, which was good. Just keeping me moving on the trails, and making sure I was running the flats well. And another thing he said was like, because I think I might have mentioned it hurt to walk, or maybe downhills are starting to hurt or something like that. And he's like, if it hurts to walk, just run, it'll be over quicker. So
that is a very Matt Gore thing to say.
It was brilliant advice, to be honest, because yeah, it hurt either way. But yeah, he was just, similar to what your nutrition plan was, Dom, I guess, and obviously he's done a lot of that stuff. But every 20-25 minutes, he's like, you got to take something, take a gel, take some fluid, take some solids, like whatever you got, take something, get something into you. And I think that really helped through that leg, because I guess it's pretty crucial at that point. And I was definitely slowing down, so things were just taking longer and longer. And then yeah, coming into, I guess, Spitbridge and Clontarf, that bit was reasonably flat, which was nice. And I definitely felt much better on the flats, and could kind of open up the hips again and stride out a little bit better than the kind of constantly just going up and down hills was really hurting. So yeah, any bit.
Coming out of Chinaman's Beach.
Not too bad. That's just before Spit, right?
Yeah, it's like a super steep climb.
Yeah. No, that was rough. Going up onto Parawi Road, that was that was rough. That was a very long hike. But once I got onto Parawi, that was nice. It's a nice gradient, that hill going down. But yeah, there was a long hike getting back up onto that road. But yeah, going into Clontarf, Matt was kind of like, because I think I was running pretty well at that point, and Matt was kind of like, just keep it in check. I just kind of wanted to get to that next aid station. And then yeah, got to Clontarf. I was getting updates all through the race of how everyone else was going, and I was just constantly shocked how far ahead Dom and Total were at most of the checkpoints. Every time I looked, I'd see a checkpoint like Dom Bullock has just passed this checkpoint, and I'm like, okay, well, past this marker, not really knowing where that was, and then I'd get there like 45 minutes later, and I'm like, all right. So yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, got to Clontarf, changed back out of the trail shoes because they were just clunky and heavy and stupid. And yeah, I think I stuffed around there for pretty much the same amount of time. As halfway, took a lot of Coke. They had those slushy things there, which were fantastic. I think I got a couple. You gave me a couple of Collins gels because he said he couldn't stomach those anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, kind of wanted to hang around there a little bit longer as well. And Matt Gore gave me a little bit of a prod to get going.
Get a move on, Chris. Get a move on.
And yeah, I thought originally I'd planned for the fourth leg to be one of the easy ones because I was like, I know North Head, I know reasonably flat up there. It's not going to be too bad. But what I really didn't anticipate was, and I don't know how you ran up there so quickly, Dom, is that kind of, I reckon it was around 62 to 66K, where it just seemed like, to me, there was just sets of stairs after set of stairs after set of stairs, and they were all up. There was no down.
Yeah.
I was struggling on those, and I remember walking past a group of, they were just out for their Saturday morning walk, and I kind of got to the top of one of their stairs, and I think my left quad kind of seized up as I hit the top step, and I couldn't roll myself over, like my hips over my actual leg, and I started to kind of go backwards. And yeah, like managed to grab onto the railing and launch myself forward again. But yeah, I found that stretch really, really long, and I think I was probably averaging like 8 or 9 minutes a K going through that, like 3 or 4K. So it just took forever. But then yeah, going through, well, it was kind of good that next aid station was only 10 Ks away from the 60 market at 69 or 70 Ks. So yeah, it was a bit of a mental break, I think, just knowing that was not another 20 Ks to get through. And yeah, coming down through, I don't even know where it is, like back about Gowler, coming down into Manly Wharf there was nice. Again, nice and flat. And yeah, got to 70K again, and the fly just buzzing around. There was a guy that I've been kind of like back and forth with for most of the race, to be honest. And he'd stop and cramp and walk for a long time. And we came into the aid station together, and I think orally might have said, like, why don't you guys just run together? So we kind of ran out of that aid station together. I saw Keith, he was feeding me watermelon and Coke and all kinds of stuff. And then yeah, knowing that hill at Darley Road to get up into North Head is pretty rough. So I think I hiked up most of that. Got up into North Head, and I knew it was kind of flat from there. But yeah, enjoyed that bit kind of around North Head. And then yeah, there's only 5 or 6 Ks to go from there, and I knew most of that was kind of downhill, but I'd also forgotten that little, once you kind of go through that stone gate, that, I don't know, I found that pretty tricky. I've run down it a few times before, but it was just quite hard to go down, I think, too quickly, especially my quads weren't working, so there's no railings there, and you're just kind of like dropping off each step, just landing on I was landing on my quads, and so that was painful. And I tried to call mum at, I think it was around 72K, like once I got up into North Head, and she didn't answer. And then she ended up calling me back as I was going down that trail. I think she was vacuuming or something. And then so I was just kind of on the phone to her, didn't really say much. Was kind of just like, I can't really talk at the moment, but just, talk away, talk my ear off. And then yeah, coming down into Manly Beach, and you can or Shelley Beach, and you can kind of look across, and you see the finish line, and you see the tent at that point, and it's a much nicer feeling once you kind of get there. Kind of what you said, Dom, about people just, obviously it's a Saturday, it was a decently nice day by that point. The sun had kind of come out, and people were starting to go to the beach, and saw like Pete Brown, Tegan, and Claire. I think Phil Bowery was there as well at that cafe kind of on the corner of Shelley Beach, and Pete jumped in and ran for a couple 100 meters with me, which was nice. And then yeah, coming along Manly Beach was nice. Luke, you sent me a video of me coming into the finish, and I didn't know where the Delta tent was. I didn't know where anyone was. I was just looking straight ahead of that finish line. Had no peripheral vision whatsoever. But yeah, I think at the top of Northhead, the guy that I was running with, he's like, oh, I kind of planned to run 7 hours, 7 hours 15, but now it's kind of closer to 8 hours. And I was like, oh, it wasn't until 75k that I kind of realized like, oh shit, I'm still actually close to 8 hours, which was my initial goal. And so, oh, okay, maybe I can get a little bit of a hurry along. But yeah, that technical bit in the last couple of k just coming down into Shelley just kind of knocked that off, I think. But also if I didn't stuff around at the aid stations for 25 minutes probably would have helped. But yeah, otherwise I was pretty happy just to finish. And yeah, grateful, like obviously for you, Luke, just running around everywhere, helping both of us out, helping Colin out, driving Daria around as well. I know that was appreciated. And yeah, having Joe and Matt the whole time was really good, especially through the harder parts in the middle. And then yeah, a lot of other people just messaged throughout the day. Had my phone on me most of the time, and I was responding to messages as I was running. And
yeah, I was a bit confused by that. I was like, man,
you probably just focus on running.
This is I'm sure Matt Gore probably, if he caught you texting, would probably knock the phone out of your hands.
I made sure to do it when he was in front of me and couldn't see what was going on.
Good call.
He's like, oh, he's off running with Colin. Quick, send a message.
He would probably. What are you doing, Chris?
Yeah, he would have confiscated it for sure. But yeah, it was good. As I said, I was surprised with how well it was marked and volunteers on course, and they would have had a bloody long day, but yeah, just really surprised how smooth it was. I think for, I guess, being an ultra, I didn't really know what to expect, but definitely something I would go and do again. And I think I sent you the expressions of interest for next year, Luke. So
yeah, you did.
Might be time to return the favor and crew you.
To be honest,
get some hills in you. You've done one of those Cremorne sessions now, so
yeah. I honestly just witnessing the event, it looks like a really cool event. I wouldn't be. I mean, it's way too far in advance, but if I was to do an ultra, I reckon that'd be fun to do. And it's kind of at the point in the year where your seasons, like a lot of the marathon stuff, could be over. And like Dom has, and obviously you as well, Chris. Like you've run a lot during the year, so that obviously plays into the being able to do that ultra. Like it's no small feat. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe you never know. We'll see.
Yeah. Don't take my nutrition strategy if you do it.
I
start practicing.
No, there's no way I'll be able to. I don't know. Oh yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that.
I'm interested that Dom just took gels and fluid. I think that's obviously you've had that experience before as well, and learned from that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, I don't know, unless it's probably over like, I don't know, 12 hours. I think that's all I'd do probably in the future. Yep. Yeah.
That makes sense. All right. Well, it's been a good recap. Maybe just briefly say what's next. What are the plans next, Chris? What are you thinking of doing over the next few months? Or
state 3Ks this Saturday, right?
Is it actually?
No, yeah, it is, but I'm definitely not doing it. Yeah, I haven't really locked anything in, I guess, but I think probably the first target will be that state 5K again in February. Start back just, I guess, sun run. Will just be a bit of a tempo, and then I think put a block together for a 5K.
Forgot about the sun run.
Yeah. And then just move up the distances throughout the year and target Berlin next year. So yeah, I think trying to get some times over those shorter distances in the lead up to that will be a bit of a mental boost. So putting specific blocks into each one of those will be the main focus. But yeah, the next couple of months just getting back into some consistency, I think is what I need.
Yeah, sweet. What about you, Dom? What's next?
Yeah, not much. I think I was planning on there's a run in Tasmania called the Cradle Mountain Run.
Oh yeah.
but it's like a super small field. There's only like 60 people in it. And I tried to enter like as soon as entries opened. I logged in maybe 5 minutes after you could, and it was already sold out. So I don't think I'm going to get a start up there, but I'm on the wait list. And then other than that, Sun Run in February probably.
Pretty
And then
fun one to
UTA.
do. Oh,
Next
UTA.
year, May. Yeah, that'll be like the
Oh, yeah.
next big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to do at UTA?
100.
100.
Yeah.
How far is that Cradle Mountain one?
It's 80 k's as well.
Yeah.
Over it. It looks awesome. It's like follows the overland track, but I think that it's just super hard to get into.
Fair enough.
A bit more elevation than Bondi and Manly.
Yeah, I think a little bit more.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for your time today. Thank you for joining the podcast as well, Dom.
I've got to interview Luke at one point.
Yeah. I've got to do something notable for that to happen.
I think the crewing was pretty notable.
Yeah. Well, I certainly gave my extended review of crewing, so it's all good. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks, guys, and I'll catch you both soon.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, guys.
See ya.